Hey, well, good evening. This is Wednesday, the 16th of November, and I'm really excited to be sharing the evening with you. I trust that you've had an exciting week, and I'd like you to think about your highlight in the last 7 days. What is it that has just been so exciting for you, that has put you on a path towards your specific goals that you have in life? Tonight, we're going to be talking about dream goals, and I select that subject specifically because I was introduced to SMART goals when I first started in the work environment. And I'm sure many of you listening this evening are familiar with what SMART goals are all about. And of course, when we look at SMART goals, we think of things that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. And I'm sure you have worked within that environment on many occasions. I want to introduce you tonight to something different. And I believe that every single one of us wants to connect with what I would like to refer to as dream goals. Of course, many people think about the dream home, the dream car, the dream holiday. There's so many of those copycat dreams that people have today. I want to talk about something that is really, really exciting because it is unique to you. So what is this idea of having a dream goal or dream goals, as it were? I'm going to give you a few words that kind of will help you to understand what it means to have a dream goal, the kind of goals that you and I should be connecting with. And the first word that I want us to look at is the word desirable. Goals that are desirable. What do I mean by that? I don't mean the kind of goals that people desire, the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, the Mustang, the Maserati, whatever kind of vehicle or car it might be. I'm not talking about those kind of goals, the ones that you want to covet, the goals that are nice to talk about to other people, that impress others. I want to talk about desirable goals from the point of view of the ones that connect with or reveal the desires of your heart. Not the desires of your head, the desires of your heart. The dream goals that make your heart beat faster. The dream goal is the one that is perfectly suited to your gifts and talents. It's the one that has an impact, or rather one that will leave an impact in the world in which we live. Now, when we talk about this idea of desires and desires of the heart, there's many different kinds of viewpoints that people might have when we talk about desirable goals. But I was reading something that King David talked about, and he was saying that if you delight yourself in the Lord, He will give you the desires of your heart. In other words, if you spend time with your Creator, He will place in you the desires that relate to the plan and the purpose that He has for your life. And so when I talk about desirable goals, I'm talking about connecting with the original intent of what it is that makes you or your heart beat. It's about connecting with the original intent of your life. It's about connecting with your purpose. So the test that you and I need to pass when it comes to setting a goal that's going to inspire you long term, that's going to keep you engaged for your entire life, then we need to check, is the goal that I'm pursuing right now linked to the desires of my heart? Or are they simply just good ideas? So is your dream goal desirable? The second letter that I want to talk about, word that I want to use over here is your goal revelational? Not revolutional, revelational. What is a revelational goal? Well, or revelational dream, maybe. It's something that kind of connects with you in a very special way. A revelational goal is something that is revealed to you. And I'm not talking about revealed to you in the context that somebody uncovers something in front of your very eyes. I'm talking about a spiritual kind of revelation, a revelation that is otherworldly, perhaps, a revelation in that you see something that doesn't yet exist, but it is so clear to you. It's as if somebody shone the spotlight on the future and you were the main character in making that future a reality. So connecting with revelational goals, goals that are otherworldly in a sense, goals that are divinely inspired, these are worthy of your pursuit. And so connecting with revelational goals is incredibly powerful. I think when we look at the SMART goal, which talks about realistic, I see that as limiting. I see that as restrictive. Whereas revelational goals, on the other hand, are completely unlimited. They're not even limited to your lifetime. Revelational goals are things that you can get started, that will begin to perpetuate from one generation to the next. So the question that we should ask when we engage in a goal, in fact, when we're going to invest any form of time in a goal, we are literally investing our life into something. And if we're going to invest our life into something, then having a goal that is revelational in nature is definitely the kind of goal that you want to engage in. And so not only should we test our goals against the desires of our heart, but we should also test it in terms of its revelational origin. Is your goal revelational? Something which is really important when it comes to pursuing a goal and investing your life in a goal and in having the ability to go beyond what you believe is capable, being able to go past your end, being able to get to the point where you can go beyond the wall, in a sense, where you can get your second wind. I think the goal needs to have or evoke an emotional response. In other words, it needs to connect with you in such a way that it moves you, that it takes you or elevates you beyond the difficulties and the challenges that goals generally present. Because there's always a time when you reach a point and you feel that maybe I should give up on this particular goal. Let me look for something easier. Now, the E definitely does not stand for easy, but it does stand for that word emotional connection. emotional response. Because in a strange way, when you connect with something that evokes your emotion, it will energize you in those moments when you desperately need to be energized. Not only will it energize you, but it will encourage you to get up again and again and again. If there is no emotional connection, there's always going to be something easier to pursue. And so people who don't have an emotional connection to their dreams or goals are the ones that chop and change often. Be the kind of person who is fully and completely moved by, connected to, inspired by the dream or the goal that you're pursuing. Another really important aspect of a dream goal is it needs to be aligned with your purpose. And there's another word that I could use here, which many people find easier to relate to, and that is your passion. Yeah, what is it that you are passionate about? What is it that you always talk about? Now, I know for many people, they seem to be passionate about problems, challenges, issues, circumstances, because that's all they talk about. If that's what occupies your mind, then you are not connected with your passion. Because when you connect with your passion, the only thing that you want to talk about is that future that you are moving towards, that you are shaping others and preparing others for. Passion and purpose are Siamese twins. They locked at the hip, they locked at the heart, they locked at the head. In fact, they are one and the same. So if you are going to pursue a dream, if you are going to set a clear and inspiring goal, then be sure to check that that goal, that dream, is aligned with your purpose and passion. Because when you get up in the morning, you need to be excited about the day that lies ahead. You know, I think our friend Elon Musk uses the term. He says, we need to at least have something to look forward to when we wake up in the morning. And I think that is so true when it comes to your dream and goal. You should be excited by it. I mean, Monday morning should be the most exciting time of the week for you if you are engaged in your purpose and passion. But for many people, Mondays are not that exciting. In fact, they would like to avoid those days in a strange way. If we are here to live every day of our life, then Monday should be no exception. It is a day to be lived in the same way that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is there to be lived. So let's check and make sure that our dreams, our goals are aligned with our purpose and passion. And then finally, the letter M is about engaging with dreams or goals that have a meaningful impact. So often the motive for a dream or goal is misplaced. I think in today's world, I was in fact talking to somebody this afternoon, and their biggest goal right now is how to monetize that which they have developed and created over the years. They are past retirement age, and of course they are thinking like the world has taught them to think, and that is that because their body is getting older, they need to now prepare to hang up the towel, as it were. And so they want to convert their past 20 years into a money-making machine. And of course, if one views the future in the context of the world in which we live, you would be forgiven for thinking that money is the main and primary motive. I remember when I was growing up, I would hear the story when I needed new shoes for school. You're going to have to wait till next term, son, because we don't have the money right now. When I wanted to go and have a haircut, thankfully I don't need to ask people to cut their hair anymore. But when I needed to have a haircut, my parents would talk about the money. When we wanted to go on holiday, it was about the money. Everything was about the money. So of course, we are programmed to see money as the priority. But I want you to think carefully about that. Because you know something, as Zig Ziglar says, money can buy you the best bed in town, but it cannot buy you a good night's sleep. And so when we engage in meaningful acts, in meaningful deeds, when we act in something meaningful, it always involves a benefit of some kind to someone else. And you know, when we do that, there's some reciprocative thing that takes place. When we do something meaningful that benefits someone else, in return, we benefit. And so, just to quickly recap, what does it mean to have a dream goal or to set dream goals? Firstly, it needs to be connected with the desires of your heart. And make sure that you connect with the right desires. It needs to be one that is revelational in nature. It should have a strong emotional connection or evoke an emotional response when you talk about your dream. It surely should be aligned with your purpose and passion. And finally, let's engage in dreams or goals that have a meaningful impact. Just this week, there was the announcement that the population clock has passed the 8 billion mark. The thing that's going to make you retain your originality is when you connect with your dream goals. Let's not proceed into the future desperate to become copies of those around us. Let's instead strive to retain our originality and bring a uniqueness to the world in which we live. I'm looking forward to chat to our panel after this short break. Remember, every Wednesday evening, same time, same place. We would love to have you join us. And I look forward to discussing this a little bit further with the panel in a moment. See you shortly. It's amazing how quickly that little break goes, and I want to just take a moment to welcome those those people who are joining us on Facebook, via LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. And I appreciate those of you posting comments. Paul, lovely to see that you are in that space of getting excited and re-energized in the next part of life. Great to have you on board. Janine, lovely to have you joining us. And of course, Ngwadi from East London, one of the good and faithfuls who's sharing and posting on Map for Life each evening. I'm going to be joined by Colton from Cape Town tonight. And just before I join with Colton, I also want to welcome Augustine all the way from the Congo, who's joining us this evening. It's lovely to have you participating tonight, Augustine. And I would maybe have to say something like bonsoir to you this evening, and lovely to have you part of it. And just by the way, we would love to invite you, if you speak a different language to English, connect with us, because we want to start offering the MAP program in all languages, everywhere, for everyone. So good evening, Colton. Lovely to have you with me tonight, and I trust that our discussion is going to inspire some people with us. I also have Reggie, who's joining us from Johannesburg, and maybe he might join us in the panel a little bit later on. So Reggie, if you want to join, just make sure you get your camera ready, and we will bring you into the chat. So Colton, what is your take? You've heard about the dream goals this evening. Is there something specific that maybe just stands out for you this evening?
Oh, look, dreaming is important. There's no two ways. Because otherwise, everything would have just been exactly the same. And thank God for those that dream and obviously set dreaming goals. So as long as the motivation is correct, the desires is correct, it's achievable, and it has meaning, then I suppose it's a welcoming, God-given existence for us. We sometimes look forward to go to bed. You wake up the following morning, sometimes wondering, what the heck did I dream about? And you start trying to think back to try and get to it and so forth. That's why I remember my ex-boss, he used to sleep with a dictaphone. And when an idea popped up in his head, he would wake up, and instead of writing it down, he would actually just record it on his dictaphone. But what was amusing, at one or two occasions, his wife mentioned to us that one day he woke up and the following morning he played the dictaphone, and he picked everybody out in the home who used this dictaphone. In the meantime, it was his voice that sounded so terrible because he woke up in the middle of the night to record something. And he couldn't believe it was his.
Colton, you're talking about something really important when it comes to something that we're teaching in Map for Life. And that is that when it comes to engaging in dreams and working towards different goals, it's going to inspire us to think about different things, and maybe there's some great ideas that come to us in the early hours of the morning. What's interesting is the Scottish talk about the wee hours of the morning, and I think anybody who's in their later years in life will know why it's called the wee hours of the morning. But
yeah.
Put jokes aside, it's in those moments that it's really important for us to actually record those ideas. So keeping a dictaphone or maybe that's a bit outdated. Today people have their mobile devices, but of course it will be good to keep that in another room. Otherwise we're tempted to stay awake watching all kinds of things on digital devices. But just a piece of paper, being able to write down those thoughts could be so valuable. I'm sure you've experienced those moments where you have a great thought and at an inopportune time, and usually while you're sleeping, and you don't write it down, and then you wake up in the morning and you struggle to remember, or in fact you've forgotten completely. Has it ever happened to you?
Oh, well, yeah, and that's why I did what my boss did. I got me a very nice digital dictaphone, and it was just a matter of pushing one button. And what was more amazing with this dictaphone was that it was voice activated. So I didn't even need to touch it. I could just sort of talk and speak. But then there are occasions that I possibly had a dream or something where I became very outspoken. And now the following morning you play this thing and you wonder, who on earth is this guy, and what on earth is he talking about, and what on earth did he go to bed with on his mind that he could be now talking about or speaking about this particular thing. So that was the amusing part of it. But very importantly, I think that it is an excellent idea if one is able to record whatever is happening or occurring, whether it's written down or whether it's via whichever means. But it's always good to sort of, because my mind, boy, oh boy, I can tell you, if I don't jot something down, I've had it. I mean, it's just one of those things. And sometimes I had a dream about something, or I woke up wondering now, was it a dream, or was it something that possibly happened the day before, or whatever? So I'm not too sure, because it's in my mind. So now I have to think back where it possibly could have occurred, etc., until I finally come to the conclusion, oh, it must have been during a dream. And then trying to now get the details of a dream. Oh boy, that was quite a toughie one, that one. I don't know if you experience that, but many a times you have a dream, you get woken up, and now you wish you can just continue with that dream, especially if it's a nice dream. You just want to continue with it. You're driving in that Maserati, your hair is blowing all over the place, and suddenly you stop because the dog ran over the wall, over the road, and now your dream stopped right there. You say, I can only dream back again. But as I said, a valuable thing is obviously to record it if possible, written or via whatever means. We can't hear you.
I'm so glad that you can lip read, and I'm sure the audience can lip read as well. There was a really powerful song that I listened to in the last 7 days. It was called Daydream, or Living Your Daydream, and I think I may have shared it with you as well. And it talks about, as young children, we dream of becoming astronauts and doctors and different things, and nobody tells us that these dreams are impossible, or that we shouldn't be having those kind of dreams. Yet when we reach the end of our schooling career, we put those dreams aside and we go for our plan B. And as the song goes, we kind of live for, it talks about people living for the weekends and whiskey. It's powerful words, because I think there's many people that are sitting like flies on the wall this evening, listening to us, that may be thinking to themselves, it's all good and well for you to have dreams, but let's be realistic. If you want to switch me off or send me to Mauritius, in my mind, is to use those words, because I want to engage in dreams, or rather, let's use the word, I want to be pursuing something that is unrealistic. I want to be pursuing something that is beyond my ability. I want to be pursuing something that inspires not only me, but inspires others. And so, this idea of only having dreams at night, maybe we should be changing that. Maybe we should be having daydreams, staring. You sitting in Cape Town. I can just imagine. Carlton, you have to do this. You have to climb up Table Mountain and just go and sit there and look at that horizon in the distance and imagine a different world. And I think we're missing the opportunities to look beyond the horizon because we're so engaged in the complexities of this world. I'm using that word. I'm not too sure why, but I think we're so inside the concrete jungle that we've lost the ability to see beyond the horizon. And maybe tonight is about reigniting that ability that we have to, in a sense, bend our vision over that horizon and see what lies beyond.
Well,
tell us a bit about your horizons that you look at, or some ideas relating to that.
Well, I can tell you that it sometimes saddens me when I see the life of certain people that unfortunately their, I believe, dreams didn't come to fruition. I believe that every person that sat at the school bench doing their standard 8, 9, or 10, or grade 10, 11, and 12, they sat there with a dream of what they would like to become. And it sometimes became so real to them that they started feeling that they are that. They then went further to higher education. And I believe that the aim there as well was to make their dream come to fruition. And then when I do, during my coaching activity now, when I unfortunately exposed now to people where things just didn't work out well. And it is heartbreaking. I mean, I remember on one or two occasions, I actually teared up a bit when listening to what this particular person dreamt about and believed. And then unfortunately, just something terribly happened that sort of just wiped that dream off. And it's times like this that you just wish you could be there to assist or aid this person through whatever process is needed to get them further. Now, I remember my dad we used to in the morning, he used to wake us up. And if we were taking long to wake up or whatever, you would just hear now, to dream the impossible dream, to learn. Now, when we heard that thing, we know, right? He's telling us now, boys, get up. It's time to now live out your dreams and whatever you intend to do, etc. So that was our alarm clock to many a times, was, he vocally sort of just doing his thing and sort of just inspiring us. And I believe that dreaming is part of people's lives. I believe it is. Because nothing in this world today would have been available or invented if it wasn't due to a dream. I believe. It must have been a dream. It must have been something that popped up in a guy's head there and obviously worked on it to achieve what the end result was.
Yeah, Carlton, you're talking about something that we so often hear. There's a term that people use for this, and that is shattered dreams. Yeah, and I was thinking about that concept some time ago, and I thought, many of the when we're talking about dreams, it's an intangible future that we can visualize in our mind, in essence. So that intangible future, that dream that has not yet become real, cannot be shattered.
Mm.
It is. It's like in the movies, you see people being able to stick their hand through a wall. They create those illusions. You put your hand
Mm.
through the wall, and I think the Marvel movies probably have these kind of interesting, um, uh, clever footage where they
Mm.
display these remarkable acts.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking that is it these dreams that have been shattered, these dreams where people, in essence, feel that because of the circumstances of life or because something happened, they are no longer worthy of or no longer able to pursue their dream or vision. Is it not maybe that they've resigned themselves to with a sort of a fatalistic kind of approach? The reason I'm asking this is because I have a sense that, irrespective of what has happened in your life, or even what is happening right at the moment, we can still revive or dust off or pick up that fragile dream that we had and begin to take that first small step. Uh, we can begin to start the 1,000-mile journey with
Mm.
that first step. Do you think that it's possible for old people, young people, or people with issues to reinvigorate their dreams?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I definitely believe that. The important thing is to have a very good um, network of people. That is so critical. And a lot of people, I think, misjudge the importance, for argument's sake, your church life. What a fantastic foundation to be able to know that you're part of. That gives you just the strength and just gives you the peace of mind that there's not just a creator that is out there paving the way for you, but by being in the environment of his creation, being a church, for argument's sake, there is a support structure in the form of mentors, coaches, advisors, supporters, right there, right there. And I can tell you my activities since we were at just past Sunday school, we became youth and we entered the youth church environments. And the outings we went to and the type of sporting activity. I mean, I played rugby with the church, we played soccer with the church and so forth. And we did the mountaineering and you name it. And every occasion was such a fantastic experience to have learned new things and get your mind just working overtime of now a selection of activity that you find very interesting. And you just mentioned about being in Cape Town and, climbing a mountain. This is my activity. We have a blessed experience every month with our men's group, our church men's group, to go on the top of a hill or a mountain or by the beach. And we all fellowship together there. And we start chatting to each other, breaking up into groups and so forth. And what a fantastic experience it is. I had the opportunity to attend Buckham's multi-men march type of thing as well. and to see there the craving of men, the dreams that even men had, that found those dreams crumbling. And then thank God, the environment that they were in could get some form of restoration of those dreams.
Clayton,
So it,
you're talking about something really important here, and that is this you used the words well, I don't know if you used these words, but I was hearing in my mind accountability,
yeah,
mentorship, support,
that's
being part of a group, and
right.
the significant role that
Mm,
that plays in nurturing your dream, and in a sense keeping the flame alive, uh, making sure that a person, as Paul was saying just now, that you never give up
mm,
on that dream. And
right,
he can say that because he's been pursuing his dream for many years,
right.
and despite the situations that he has experienced in his life, he gets
Mm,
up again and continues. When you're talking about being part of these groups, and obviously um, uh, one such powerful or existing um, group to link into is a church group,
mm,
as you've talked about your example, kind of a community that supports one another, that shares a common foundation or common belief system. um, I just think that you've touched on something so important, and that there's maybe people that are going to be listening to this recording,
mm,
realizing that perhaps what's missing in their life is being part of such a group.
mm.
Now you
100%.
you actually not only attend a church group, but you also are part of a map cafe on a Wednesday morning.
Hmm.
Does that maybe also serve the same kind of purpose? Maybe you can share some thoughts about that. People, there might be some people that don't know about this idea of having a map cafe or a map group.
Yeah, look, it is nice to be able to have a opportunity to be able to, for argument's sake, the Mad Cafe, to have, each individual has got an environment that they are in. So Cape Town is a world on its own, as opposed to Johannesburg, I suppose Pretoria, KwaZulu-Natal, etc., etc. En Boksburg. Ek het nou die ander dag 'n boer daar gekry van Boksburg. Hy's 'n beesboer. Hy sê vir my, Franciscus, laat ek jou nou sê, hierdie wêreld kan jy ver min kom. Jy moet net aan die regte plan begin werk. And I thought, gee, what a real positive-minded character this is, with all the type of things that somehow or other appears to be standing in their way, and with the politics and everything else that goes with it. It is a mindset. It
Colton,
is a
before you
yeah.
go too
Okay.
far with that, the Boksburg man. I think you need to just translate that for some of our international audiences. I know that there's people that understand you fully and perfectly better than what I do, but there's other people out there that don't know
Yeah.
what you're saying. Except I'm sure Augustine, who's French speaking, when you said plan or plan. He recognized that word. So maybe you can just quickly translate what you said, so that at least our French-speaking members can also follow.
Right. Yeah. No, all it was basically was a farmer out in an area called Boksburg, which is in South Africa. And what a positive attitude he had. He said there is numerous activities and potential laying ahead in this country, as long as you just stick to a plan that will get you towards that end result or that goal. Now, these are a certain crowd of people in South Africa, unfortunately, that is experiencing some difficulty when it comes to the past and things that's unfortunately interfering with their lives. And when you hear the positivity of a person that's in that situation, then you and I that are living non-challenging lives and existences have got absolutely nothing to complain about, and therefore can only blame ourselves if we're not achieving what we would like to achieve, but in the form of a plan. And that's where Map for Life, I think, contributes tremendously towards that opportunity to be able, look, not everybody can sort of strategize a plan and so forth. Here is at least an opportunity with great work that was put into it, with the mind of an engineer that had the foundation to be able to set a plan and plot a network of ideas to be able to get you onto a path that will lead you towards an end goal. So easier than that, I believe it cannot be, because the guide is there. And it's just a matter of saying, here I am, please, I want it. Take me with you on the journey.
I want to speak to all the engineers that are listening right now, because it's unusual. It's not common for us for two engineers to be chatting to each other on tonight's show. But we also have a bunch of engineers in our online audience this evening, and
Right.
I was attending a map cafe, Carlton, in a place called Centurion. It's
Okay.
it's an area near Pretoria, or I
Okay.
suppose one could say part of Pretoria. And this was many years ago. I think about 12 or 14 years back. And an engineer arrived on this particular morning, and the person leading this map cafe also happened to be an engineer. And he began to ask me a few questions about Map for Life, and I answered them as best I could. And then he looked at me and he said, "You know what you are?" I said, "Tell me." He said, "You are a life engineer." And that stuck for me on that day. And the reason I want to just bring it up this evening is to talk to all of our engineers that are using Map for Life, and I want to invite you to become a life engineer. Maybe you are proficient in water engineering or electrical engineering or mechanical or whatever kind of engineering that there's so many of them today. When I was studying, there was probably 8 on the list. Today it's almost endless. So if you call yourself an engineer, if you're a problem solver of some kind out there, why not consider joining us in Map for Life and becoming a life engineer, helping people to structure their dreams so that those dreams can become a reality. I think it's a worthy pursuit, and we would love to have you join us in that sense. Carlton, we've had a wonderful time this evening. I see our time, the clock is running down, but I want you to maybe just share some final thoughts with those people who have been listening into the session this evening. Just some thoughts from your heart. What message of encouragement could you share?
Well, we've got, whether you're an engineer or not, you have got a built-in engineering mechanism in you. And what is an engineer? An engineer is somebody that problem solves. An idea comes in, a problem is somehow other develops, and the engineer starts working on it. And the same with life. So ideally, as you indicate now, life engineering, right? Life engineer, what a brilliant opportunity it is to use the hidden engineering ability in all of us and make life the most pleasurable and advantageous existence for all else. I'll be able to give you examples, tons of it, of how simple little things. I'll never forget, I don't know how much time we got, but I'll never forget one occasion where at a parking lot, at a mall, where unfortunately I reversed into a parking spot, not knowing somebody was behind me wanting the same spot. And boy, oh boy, did this guy go mad. And all I did was just move out of the spot, because right ahead of me was another empty one. And thinking that will suffice now, this guy now getting his parking spot. My God, did that man get out and go for it like mad with me. Oh, he just went for it. And thank God, because of my dad's influence, it was much easier for me to just listen. And when he was done, I just, well, in Afrikaans now, which was, baie dankie meneer, but in English now it meant, thank you very much, sir. And then I walked off. Anyway, in the mall, inside the shop, standing in the queue at the till, this gentleman comes to me again. I said, oh my God. Yeah, you must know he's got this army khaki type of clothing on, etc. Farmer type of guy. And I thought, gee, please not now here inside the mall as well, inside the store as well. And boy, oh boy, what an impression that made in my life. It's when he came to me and he came to apologize for his outburst. Firstly, but what was pondering him? How come I said, hoekom het jy vir my bedank? Why did you say thank you? And just walked off without any explanation. I said, man, well, yeah, but in Afrikaans, but obviously in English now, I said, man, my dad had a way of telling us that people experiences different things. You don't know what happened to this person 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, or a day ago. And his outburst now at the moment is just somehow linked or related to the way he feels at this moment in time. So you've got the opportunity, and I explained to him this whole lot, and this man just told me, he says, my God. So in other words, you were thanking me for giving you the opportunity to allow me to vent and blow my top. I say yes, because now at least it's out of you. And thank you for giving me the opportunity, as unpleasant as it could have been, to allow you to get out of you what you wanted. Now that's engineering. That's life engineering. Simple. No pride, no wanting to win an argument and all this type of things. Just acknowledging that there is a way that you can relieve somebody of something that needs to be relieved. That's simple. There's no sound.
I keep working on teaching people sign language or lip reading. Carlton, it's been wonderful chatting to you this evening, and thank you to all of those who've been participating tonight and sharing your comments. We really appreciate that, and I'd encourage you to share the link to this message with family, friends, colleagues, post it on social media. You never know. Somebody might just need to hear something that we said this evening, or maybe even read one of the comments that have been posted, and it could literally transform their life. I'm going to end this evening by playing a short video of a young lady just sharing a little bit of an encouragement relating to dreams. So Carlton, thank you so much. Good night to you, and let's play out with this short message.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Good night to all.
Hello everyone. It's been really nice just to sit and chat with some people, and just to see how there is a buzz amongst all of you for what's to come in your lives. And I think it's just so exciting, this program, to see what it's already done. I don't know if you've read some of the Dreams books, but what's happening in Madagascar and Ghana, and just to see how people are being ignited to follow what's already been placed in their hearts, and how they've been given the tools and the encouragement to finally pursue it, and to realize that it's just a little bit every day that you can do towards realizing a dream that's going to impact people and change people's lives, and that's so exciting. And it's nice to see that there's already this excitement that's developing for each of you, and it's exciting to see where you're all going to go. I think I've part of my sort of journey is we're looking to immigrate to the UK next year and begin to walk into some of the dreams that I have in terms of theatre and in terms of using theatre to inspire joy in other people and love in other people and bring a form of healing as well. So I'm very excited about that, and it's exciting to see everyone here, and my hope and prayer is that you will all leave committed to actualizing your dreams, and that others will be inspired to help you along the journey.